Okay, we'll take it in two parts. So just the first, not the 1 year later, but we're here and now, right? We've got Angie and Brian in care. Angie and Brian have a little bit different school experience, right? So let's talk about how would a decision be made to determine where both Angie and Brian should go to school. Where do you start? What's the first thing you take a look at?
Where do they want to stay?
Where do they want to stay in school? So Angie wants to stay in her, or she's a star basketball player. She wants to stay in her home school. Brian could care less. That's what he tells you. I don't care. Doesn't matter where I go. I'm not going. Right, what else do you got to take a look at?
Transportation and willing to keep taking them back to the school. So they can't have financial resources to do that. The school needs to provide.
Aunt loves these kids so much. She's got some health issues, though, significant. But she's going to do whatever it takes because she wants to keep these kids stable, so she's going to hang on there. Relatively new placement. They just got placed with Aunt. What did I say? Within the past week or so, right? Somebody's going to approach your local McKinney liaison, right? What are you going to say? Somebody make the argument to him. Where are my lawyers? Y'all leave. Who wants to make the Angie and Brian argument to your McKinney liaison about why they should be McKinney eligible and kept in the school?
So is it that
Sister will drive? Right. What do we say? McKinney liaison?
Temporary and permanent are not defined.
Yeah.
Unification is a different back from other, and this is temporary. They don't have a permanent place to live, they qualify as home.
Your principal comes down the hallway and says, that's all good. And Angie, we agree 100%, but Brian's been nothing but trouble to this school from the day he started. You're telling me we really are going to keep him there?
Being like any other kid who violates the rules, you have to listen to their
I think it's something to look at. Okay, what was going on at home? What are the issues that are going on at home with Brian? He didn't want to go to school and those additional things. Now that, hopefully Aunt's a little bit more safe, maybe a little bit more stable, consulting people, doing those types of things, but maybe that'll help keep Brian as a leader and role model. So then now is a chance for Brian to, guess right now he's shutting down. But it's an opportunity for him to
Anything else as advocates we might want to ask the school related to Brian? Yeah. Could. I mean, the question here is what factors should be considered? It could be a factor to think about. But does, I think we hear that a lot with our young people. It's, oh, they're hanging with a bad crowd, they just need to move somewhere else. It's where does the hanging with a bad crowd weigh in the, this kid's never been referred, evaluated to figure out what his learning issues are at all. He's never been identified or of determined what kind of supports and services might make him more engaged in on track at school. So it's really weighing those two issues. You know, I agree it's something, a factor, but how it weighs out with some of these other issues is really critical. Yeah. Courts. Anything you want to go and talk to the judge about? Any role for you here?
Well, certainly determining what evaluations might be needed, what court orders there might need to be in order to get those evaluations. Brian, is key. So what information I receive from the schools or from the case manager or also regarding items is very important.
Do schools come to hearings? Do you have school representatives come to your review hearings? Hearings?
A lot of them we do. So not all of them, and it varies from school district. We have 6 school districts that operate within this county, and so that it depends.
Do you specifically ask each hearing that they come, or is it sort of an understanding that they are invited? And
It's sort of an understanding they're invited.
How does the school district know that there's a hearing going on?
They're getting copies.
They're getting copies of the schedule.
Yeah.
It's public, I mean, you can request it. But, so how do you request
We mail them to all the districts in the county and Sarpy, I think we are.
you mail the list of kids who are in your custody, as well as,
We send a copy of the court schedule for every week that goes to the school district, so they can see what kids, you know, rather than, you know, it'd be too onerous to individually send out notices on for each of the kids probably, but if you're sending out the court schedule, they can recognize what kids are
which
going to.
kids are their kids?
Yeah.
Now, is that a state thing, or is that just something you do with Sarpy County?
That's something we do in Sarpy
I think
County.
that's just Sarpy. It doesn't put it Brad does put it to school or to central office.
But it helps a lot because people showed. What if you had a case where there wasn't somebody from the school who showed, and you know you had a hearing like this, and there was all these issues were being raised? I mean, can you have a?
Certainly ask for there to be a team meeting in which school personnel would be involved in that team meeting. If there are education and other issues that are regarding that child. You can ask, you know, lots of things. You can ask the guardian ad litem to talk to school personnel about and report back to court. And there's all kinds of things that you can do in order to try to engage in the team and to get the attention of the school district that they need to be involved.
The child, Brian's need for this referral, who's going to make it? Is it clear in this scenario who's going to make that referral for special ed? Could be anybody. Could be nobody. I mean, I think that goes back to another thing for just the court to sort of be watching for. That I think anybody can make a referral. That's the strength. Anybody can make the referral. Whose responsibility is it to do that? And is that one of the reasons that sometimes they don't get made? Is because everybody thinks somebody else has done it. And so we really have to keep an eye on when there are these issues. You know, who is being designated? And sometimes that's a great role for the court is to say, this child, who's following through with this?
Yeah. You know that I shudder to open the window of the homeless piece, but it really is an opportunity because the school's obligation is to remove any barriers to that child's success. That evaluation might help remove those barriers. The school should be pushing that.
That's right.
Mom's available. She's in jail. Go to jail and get the signature.
Right.
It is.
Right. Doesn't change school child fund responsibility one bit if the child's in care. Squeaky wheel gets the.
So in this case, who would pay for the
In this case, who would pay for transportation?
Who's homeless, the school district's responsible to return him to the school or
So any child comes to foster parents and
that's why I said I can't.
I don't think that's what he said. Let me just defend him in that way. I'm pretty sure that's not what he just said. But anyone who is determined to be eligible, and it's determined to be in their best interest to remain. So if you're eligible under McKinney-Vento, not all foster kids are going to be eligible, but if there's eligibility, and it's in their best interest, yes, the school pays under McKinney-Vento. Okay? So in this first half of the case, let's use this as a way to segue to our 1 year later, okay? So in the first half of the case, I think we had our, it's always fun to do hypotheticals. So yes, I will allow it eligible under McKinney. What do we have? What's different 1 year later? Mom's definitely doing some time. The school year's about to end. Yep. They've been there stably for the whole year, but, right, Aunt is having even some new health problems and still struggling a little bit. Plan's still reunification. They're going to review it soon. Right. Should we throw it back to our local liaison back there? What do you think? Is it a little bit harder? School is ending. It could be a natural. What'd you say? Did I give the pages? You're okay, right. How does reaching the age of majority change things? Your compulsory school age, right? But if in that year you got him evaluated and it turns out he actually is receiving special education services and entitled to special ed through 21, how about if transportation is written into his IEP? As a related service necessary for him to continue to make progress, because now the big change with Brian is that the school, it's been a new awakening with Brian. He's getting services, he's compliant, he's made some really critical connections with the staff and the school. I think, we're really wrapping up here, and I want to thank everybody. This was a lot of talking at you and hopefully some participation. I hope that this case just, our attempt here is just to realize these are challenging cases. These are challenging dynamics, and I think you've all done a great job hanging in there. Please feel free to contact me if you have any follow-up questions. And don't forget to check out the website if you want more resources. Thanks.
We have packaged the answers.